Hello and welcome to ICSC 2026 Las Vegas. Today we have Mark. Hi, how are you?
Hi, pleasure. Thank you for asking me to
I
do the interview.
already we had a hard time rolling the cameras because we were just chatting away.
I know.
It was a good time.
I talk a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm
have a lot to say.
gonna get into the company, but I just feel like maybe you do podcasts.
I do. I've done 4 or 5 different podcasts, mostly about life and about finance. And so I've mentored most of my life. I've mentored, probably 100 people. And I still mentor people right now, and I really enjoy it. It's part of me giving back after 40 years on Wall Street, so I really enjoy it.
It's so nice to have a mentor that has maybe mentored you, and then as you get older, you're like, I get to return that favor.
Exactly.
And I always feel like, too, I do a lot of things like with CASA, which is like the foster care, out here, but they say in that it only takes one person to change your life.
That's it.
Just one person
Just
that
one
believes
person.
in you.
So it was for me when I was growing up, it was my older brother. He was 20 years older than me, and I always went to him for advice. Now, as I have reached my prime
You get to
prime
be like
years,
the big brother.
I get to be the big brother and give out whatever pearls of wisdom that I have.
All right, we'll circle back to personal, but let's talk company. Who are you with? What do you do?
So I'm a senior managing director at a company called Kasin Sabag Realty. They're based in New York City. It's a 150-person boutique real estate firm that has a focus on retail leasing, retail sales, retail brokerage, and retail investing, meaning that we partner up to buy shopping centers up and down the East Coast, and we're actively pursuing opportunities right now. We're also actively looking for co-investors or co-GPs, and that's my role. I'm the head of capital markets there. So what I do is I help them analyze deals, and then I bring in the investors.
Is that your goal here at the show?
My goal here is the first time I'm at this show.
First ICSC.
Yeah, first time, because I spent 40 years on Wall Street before doing this.
Oh my goodness, I could see that.
Yeah, I ran a large advisory team between Stearns and Morgan Stanley, but I've always been a real estate investor. And my cousin owns the firm and asked me to come on to be the head of capital markets.
Was that transition smooth going
Yeah,
from,
very
because you
smooth.
were already kind of dealing with real estate?
Yeah, it's a people's business, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, it's building relationships. You had to have good connections.
Yeah, and I also own I'm a partner in another real estate company in the Midwest called Windsor Properties, and they're based out of Ohio. So that's all multifamily. So I have an extensive background in real estate.
That's amazing. If I was a customer, right, and you wanted me to work with you, what are some things that you would tell me that would benefit me?
First of all, you'll never work for me.
Okay.
You only work with me, right? So I'm a big believer of leaving your ego at the door. So for me, my partnership on Wall Street lasted 40 years, which is very rare because you had to leave your ego at the door. So your question is, if you're a client of mine, so at Kasin Sabag, we look at 2 different asset classes. We look at office buildings in New York City, and that's for growth, a total rate of return. And then we look for shopping centers up and down the East Coast, and that's for cash flow and depreciation. So we are 2 different ends of the spectrum when it comes to real estate, as far as investing is concerned. On the brokerage side, we do everything under the sun. We're the #1 retail leasing firm in New York City. It's really great. The young firm, the 2 founding partners, Morris Sabag and Abraham Kasin. Abraham is my cousin. They're unbelievable, very, very dynamic twosome. And it's amazing. I go into that office every single day, and it's absolutely amazing what these guys do.
Well, I was going to say it's like family, but you actually have family there. So what do you see for the future of the company?
This company is growing like weeds. I believe they're going to be the leader in New York sometime in the next 10 years. I'm not so sure if they'll be independent over the next 10 years because the bigger companies are coming in and taking over. Companies like Kasin Sabag that probably wouldn't sell. However, we're very, very active. We were early in buying office buildings in New York City. Office was a bad word 3 years ago or 4 years ago coming out of COVID. and they took advantage of it, buying distressed properties in New York, and we're still seeing opportunities in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about how COVID, affected the business.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, during COVID, you had work from home, and that really killed the office investment.
But now it's coming back.
In New York City, all the big banks and institutions demanding their employees to come back. And what's happening over the past, let's say, year or so, we're starting to see pretty large institutional capital come back into New York City. No different than in the stock market or any other market. The pendulum always goes too far negative, and that's what happened in office, and now that pendulum is going the other way. Same thing happened in retail during COVID, where retail, everyone was against investing in real estate.
It was almost like a bad word, yeah.
Right, and now look what's happening. In New York City, retail is white hot.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this, because I feel like you have to be almost flexible to the times. We have all these things coming out, AI, right? You have to kind of go with the punches. COVID happened. So it's like, how do you feel like you can transition into these things? You just have to keep an open mind personally and business?
Yes, you have to stay ahead of the game all the time, all the time. The biggest fear right now is AI. What's going to happen with AI? How is it going to affect office? How is it going to affect the world? And it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah,
it's too early to see.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I know people use it personally, and I do feel like here at this show, people are using AI. What do you think about it, and what do you think the company thinks about AI in the future?
So I use AI every day, and it's really saved an enormous amount of time.
It feels like you have an assistant, right?
Even more so, right? It's really like my right-hand person. That's how good it is. And I'm concerned for people who are in lower and middle management, excuse me, because I do believe over time they're replaceable. And if they don't get ahead of that game, then it's going to be a big issue. I can see where AI could force large unemployment in certain areas, but that's why people coming out of school now shouldn't become engineers, shouldn't focus on things that they focused on 2, 3, 4 years ago. And so it's difficult for young people right now. And what also is happening is that I advise young people to go into more things that cannot be affected by AI. Plumbing, HVAC, air conditioning, things like that.
Right, where you need a physical person with hands to do things.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Was there anything you want to say before you head out? You want to do a little plug to the camera?
Well, first of all, Kasin Sabag is not for sale. I just want to make that very clear. And thank you for interviewing me. And I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah, it's been a great show.
So if anyone wants to reach me and talk to me about investments in New York City or up and down the East Coast, you can reach me at marks@ksrny.com, and you can reach me on my cell, 917-903-9275, and I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.